morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. As consumers build up their use on technology and utilities, producers and manufacturers have to raise their output on coal and other energies to meet their need. Coal and fossil fuel resources won't last forever though, and producers and companies are now shifting over to renewable energy. Today is the first day of a three-part series on energy, so stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. A silly old relic is what these producers and manufacturers call fossil fuel. Today's show is all about alternative fuel sources. Alternative fuels are derived from resources other than petroleum. There's a big push to produce these domestically, reducing our dependence on foreign oil. Today's show will primarily focus on alternative fuels that are derived from renewable sources or fuels that are produced through less pollution than gasoline or diesel. First, we have to identify the different fuels that will be discussed on today's program, starting with ethanol. Ethanol is produced domestically from corn and other crops and produces less greenhouse gas emissions than conventional fuels. Ethanol use in the United States has increased dramatically, about 1.7 billion gallons in 2001 to about 13.2 billion in 2013. Biodiesel is derived from vegetable oils and animal fats. It usually produces less air pollution than petroleum-based diesel. Renewable natural gas, also known as RNG, is chemically identical to fossil fuel natural gas, but much cleaner. RNG made from biogases that are emitted as organic wastes that break down in airless environments. RNG is produced from a variety of biomass and/or biogas sources, including landfill gas, solid waste, municipal wastewater, and agricultural manure. Recently, Farm Factor traveled to Topeka, Kansas to the Kansas Energy Conference. The conference was held in Topeka at the Kansas Expo Center and the Capitol Plaza Hotel in late September. One panel discussed alternative fuels used for energy generation, currently in use or produced in Kansas, including flex fuel biodiesel.
Basically, flex fuel vehicles are like any other typical or what you would consider a normal vehicle. The difference would be you can use traditional fuel sources or what we call flex fuel or the biodiesel, biofuels that are out there. So there's no difference in their performance. You can just go to your normal gas station or fuel station and it will give you the difference there. There's usually a slight difference in price.
Kansas biodiesel is a byproduct from crops produced in the state.
The biodiesel is obviously a byproduct from the grains that are used through the different biodiesel manufacturing plants. Since it's not a 100% fossil fuel, obviously, being renewable from the crops or crop residue, we can look at that as being more sustainable than when fossil fuels are eventually going to run out.
Lynn believes that the more people are aware of its positive impact on the market and environment, its use will go up. The trend right now is an increase in use by consumers.
I would say the use of it compared to 5 years ago is higher just due to the readily availability of it in more places versus one or two places in your town. With it becoming more readily available, more people are going to choose that to use again. Because of the use of different things to produce it versus the fossil fuels.
There are some tax benefits for consumers, and the KDA encourages consumers/producers to look up how these benefits could affect them.
The tax advantages are out there. You would just have to research to find which ones apply to you directly. There's always an advantage when you're using an alternative fuel source versus the fossil fuels, so I would highly encourage anyone to use the biofuels rather than straight fossil fuels.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another. and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at beyondtheelevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
These offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about tallgrass commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. We recently caught up with several producers and companies at the Kansas Energy Conference, including Cornerstone Environmental Group. Cornerstone Environmental Group, LLC, is an engineering consulting and field service firm dedicated to providing services to the solid waste industry and the agriculture clients throughout the nation.
Cornerstone Environmental Group is a engineering consulting firm based basically doing mainly solid waste engineering, site engineering, some civil work, and primarily working in the environmental and composting and the solid waste business.
The company was founded by industry leaders who have helped to develop and shape solid waste, energy, and environmental technologies over the past 30 years.
Our main focus is solid waste, and that is landfill design, assistance with operations and questions, and a lot of landfill gas and regulatory issues. And as an alternative, we also work the bio-CNG side of the equation, where we build and install systems for bio-CNG, where we actually can convert the landfill gas coming out of landfills and from anaerobic digesters at wastewater treatment plants into vehicle quality fuel.
Cornerstone's experience with biogas, including landfill gas or LFG collection and beneficial reuse, extends back to the inception of landfill gas management at landfills. Currently, they have a system in place where they use biogas and their staff develops an appropriate reuse of the biogas to generate electricity, produce heat, or use as a fuel.
And around 2008, Mark Torzani with our Madison office had the idea that why could we not take an existing technology, which is treatment of biogas, and treat it to a vehicle quality fuel. And several years later, and in partnership with our partner called Unison Solutions out of Dubuque, Iowa, we now have a system that we're marketing throughout the world, throughout the country primarily, that takes that really dirty biogas and treats it to vehicle quality fuel that's appropriate for use and meets the Society of Automotive Engineering standards for use in vehicles.
Innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We are having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand Ag Professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome back to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. Today's show is all about alternative fuel sources and its application in the market.
Kansas ethanol plants serve by truck what were called truck markets of ethanol to Oklahoma and to Texas. And then obviously, depending on which part of the state they're located in, you could be serving Kansas City or other places. Now, a significant amount of ethanol goes out by rail as well in the state, but the trucks are going to be important on the outbound side. And then the distiller's grains, the feed product, high protein feed product, which is also left as part of the ethanol process, especially the wet distiller's grain, since Kansas has beef and dairy cattle to feed in confined operations. That wet product only moves by truck. So that creates a lot of need for trucking services at each plant. Some of the dry distiller's grain will go by truck, although it can also be shipped by rail.
The amazing part is that ethanol drives down gas prices. However, in the past, ethanol was more expensive.
So in the past, say 10 to 15 years ago, it was quite common for ethanol to be 30 to 50 cents higher than wholesale gasoline. But today, with nearly 15 billion gallons of capacity in the U.S., and probably for the last 6 or so years at least, we have seen ethanol almost always be priced or cost significantly under wholesale gasoline. Sometimes as much as $1 less, but 50 to 60 cents to $1 less. So that translates, if E10, which is the most common ethanol blend, that's going to translate from 5 to 10 cent less per gallon of gasoline because the ethanol is in there. Long and short, today's ethanol market makes gasoline prices go down.
The E10 and E15 are blends of ethanol and gasoline. The number after the E indicates the percentage of ethanol by volume. As of 2011, the Environmental Protection Agency began allowing the use of E15 in the models of cars 2001 and newer.
I do see the trend continuing, and when I look out into that 10 to 15 year time period, I see us moving towards the base gasoline blend
being an E15 instead of an E10. Again, saving additional cents per gallon, because if you're saving 5-10 cents with E10, you're going to save half again as much on top of that with E15. And I see that movement, the consumer recognizing that as E15 is becoming available in the marketplace now, the consumers will start to be comfortable with E15, which is approved for all vehicles 2001 and newer. And I see that cost competitiveness continuing to be lower for E15 than for regular gasoline. Consumers will buy on that, and potentially then there will be opportunities for even a higher ethanol blend, such as an E25 or E30, as the automakers have to meet mileage standards. And one of the ways they can get there is by adjusting the octane in the fuel and using more ethanol.
The Renewable Fuel Standard Program regulations were developed in collaboration with refiners, renewable fuel providers, and many other stakeholders. If it is taken away, it will destroy the Kansas alternative fuel market, and that's why Kansas producers want it kept in place.
The primary thing is at the federal level, and that's the continued discussion around what's called the Renewable Fuel Standard, which sets out a schedule of biofuels use from now until 2022. But there are those in Congress who would like to see that go away. And what happens if it goes away? Higher gasoline prices, back to fossil fuels, and overall more pollution. So we'll continue to battle to keep the renewable fuel standard as it is in place today, because it's working. It's driving down imports of oil from other countries and stimulating our rural economy.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Hey there folks, Dr. Dan from K-State. Are you BQA certified? Well, if you're involved with the beef industry and you're not BQA certified, you should be. And today, you can do it free online from the comfort of your computer or mobile device. Go to the website listed below, bivi-bqa.com. Sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica and the Beef Quality Assurance Program at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Today through October 31st is your time to get BQA certified.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. Energy Vision is a company trying to educate government and business leaders about the domestic alternative fuels and renewable natural gas that can best reduce air pollution, cut greenhouse gases, and replace the use of oil.
Well, I think in the past 5 to 10 years especially, we're looking at a time in history when technology has improved so much. And again, we're really focused on natural gas vehicles and renewable natural gas made from waste. So I can't necessarily comment broadly on alternative fuels, but in that particular space, the technology in the last 5 years, engine technology, compressors, and the availability of a secure domestic cheap alternative fuel in the form of natural gas, both fossil and renewable, has really become increasingly abundant. So I think that's really the biggest changes over the last 5 or so years.
Matt Tomek is a vice president of Energy Vision and was interested in using waste into a fuel product.
So I joined about 3 or so years ago, and I actually grew up in Kansas, in Manhattan, in the Little Apple, and was always around sort of agriculture and people who are making products and producing things. So I was really interested in the energy space because of the fact that it's such a critical piece of our everyday lives and the way that we live in the 21st century. So after college, I decided I wanted to get into the renewable space because it seemed like that was where the trend was going. And Energy Vision was doing some really creative out-front research on renewable energy, especially on converting waste into energy. So it was really combining this thought of thinking about waste as a resource and economically taking that and turning it into a product. And so that's what really got me hooked, and that's what I've been focusing on since then.
Energy Vision is all about education. Currently, the U.S. consumes over 20.8 million barrels of oil a day, 25% of the worldwide consumption. So it is vital to find alternatives to fossil fuel-based gasoline.
Yes, so we are an environmental organization, a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're focused on first research. So we've looked at a number of different alternative fuels and which ones are most economically viable. And from there, we spend a lot of time on outreach and education. So we do workshops with the Department of Energy, has a Clean Cities coalition, and they have different groups throughout the country that are really targeted on that specific region. So Kansas City has its own Clean Cities organization that promotes alternative fuels in this market. And so there's about 100 of those groups around the country, and we've worked with a number of them, showing them this new fuel source, talking about all the opportunities and obstacles that exist in bringing renewable gas to their market.
Energy Vision just came out with a report on renewable energy sources that consumers can read and learn about renewable energy.
So we actually just came out with a product, a report. It's focused on communities and creating renewable natural gas at the local level. And that's another reason that this is an exciting opportunity to discuss here in Kansas, because any community or any company that produces a volume of waste, a significant volume of waste, can start to rethink that resource or start to rethink that waste as a resource. And so we did about a 60-page manual, which is a sort of a how-to guide to explore the opportunities at the community or local level. And so that guide is available on our website. Again, it was Department of Energy sponsored, so fully vetted by a number of top industry and professional people. And we're getting a lot of good feedback from the people that have looked at it.
For more information, you can visit Energy Vision on the web. Thank you for watching this episode of Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com/Farm Factor. Or you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Again, thank you for watching today's program, and have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission.
The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.